Hi, let's go ahead and all right. Let me check my sound on Twitch. We are live. I'll make sure my sound is coming through properly. Interesting. I'm not hearing my. Yep, there it is. There it is. Perfect. 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 Good morning, everybody. Drink my glass of water as well as my tea. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so let's got a little bit of a different setup this morning. I'm going to be utilizing my Cintiq for a lot of today's presentations. Welcome, join in. People are slowly coming in. Good morning. Welcome to the Blender 3D and LightWave discussions. We have much to talk about. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, so I am actually putting out a little more Facebook promos here as we speak for everybody to join in. Looking at comments, no comments yet, but we're getting people jumping into the room. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you. All right, we're going to get started here in just about a couple of minutes. And while I'm going to wait here just another couple of minutes, I'm going to go ahead and put a little promo into the other 3D forms just to alert them that we are here. Let me go to my Twitch link. Welcome. All right. I'm almost done putting out little Facebook promos now. Type in the chat box where you're from and what the weather's like in your area. We like to do that every morning. Good morning, everybody. All right, I'm getting ready to do a post in the Blender 3D or official Blender 3D user group. So I'm going to share that in just a moment. All right. Okay, good. People are coming in. Good to see everybody. Hey, share in the chat box where you're from and what the weather is like in your area. So we have an official here. I'll do it this way. We'll go to Facebook. Let me go right over here. I'm sharing my screen currently. And let me share that with you. I always like the one on the side. I don't know. That one takes up too much space. I think that one's better. All right. I think I like that style better. I'm going to go to our Facebook page, our official Facebook page. So if you guys are not part of it, make sure you become part of it. Come on in and share your work, and as well as chat with the other artists there. Blender 3D Users Group. That's the name of our Facebook page right there. The Blender 3D Users Group. So make sure you join this. Okay, so I'm going to take my StreamYard and put it over to here. All right, so I'm going to copy this link and I'm going to put that into the chat box for you guys to partake in. So there we go. That's our official Facebook page there. So no, go join in and share your work. Be a part of the conversation. I also have another page here too, and it's a LightWave integration users group. I will place that into the chat as well. So the LightWave integration users group is more of kind of what we do here in the Saturday mornings. Is anything and everything to do with LightWave and or Blender. Okay, so basically LightWave integrated with other software packages. It could be Photoshop, it could be anything. So um, just I'll put that in the link as well. Put that link into the chat box is what I meant to say. And there we go. That's the Facebook link there. So join them both, participate. Love to see you there. And let me check in. Great. Welcome everybody. Numbers are always fluctuating up and down. Share with us where you're from and what the weather's like in your area. Welcome Ace Hoffman. Great to see you. Welcome Mac Nonsense. Welcome Nathaniel Hale. Welcome. Great to see you. There's more in here, but I'm not seeing everybody. So I'm only going to mention the viewers that I have here that are showing up on my Twitch page. Welcome. All right. So if anybody wants to share live, okay, anybody wants to share live, I am going to give you guys the link to join in to share whatever you want to share, whether it's LightWave, whether it's Blender. We do mostly Blender here, but every once in a while we'll do LightWave presentations as well, especially with sharing the new LightWave. And then from time to time I'll come in and share the upgrades with the LightWave. I think the latest version was a 2025, so 2026 I believe has been released. LightWave 2026. So there you go. So if you want to jump on and share something with us live, maybe a project you're working on, maybe a portfolio you're putting together, a demo reel, whatever, there's the link. You can come directly on the stream live and share your screen and share your mic. Just make sure you have a mic and camera connected, a minimum of a mic connected. Okay. We prefer to have mic and camera. All right, so why don't we just kind of go ahead and get rocking and rolling here, and people have a tendency to drop in a little bit later. We go from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and which actually I forgot to mention in my Facebook post. I'm going to go to my Facebook page here that it was Pacific. No, I did put Pacific Standard Time. Great. Right there. Okay, good. That looks good. All right, I'm happy. All right, so we were working on the Stegosaurus. We're going to finish up the Stegosaurus. I'm working on my Cintiq, by the way. So I've got 3 screens in front of me. I have 2 BenQs and one of the 24-inch Cintiqs from Wacom Technologies. Thank you, Wacom, for the support. So if you see me looking away like this, it's because I'm working on the Cintiq. Normally, I'm working off one of the center monitors where I'm facing this way. So at least you know why I'm kind of turned to the side here a little bit. Welcome. And okay, so I'm going to share again. So I'm going to copy the link. For anybody who wants to jump in and share it just for your convenience, I'll put the link in again. In fact, I'll put to share live, right? To share live. There's the link. Okay, there we go, right there. The share live, there's the link. We've, okay, so I should probably mention, you guys, make sure you join Discord. We have an official Discord page. Let me go get it here for you real quick. There we go. I'm going to bring it over to my monitor that we're viewing on right there. Okay, so we've got an official, I'll maximize this for now. We have an official Discord page. On the Discord page, I'm going to go over it here, right here. We're inside our little blender. We have a lot of stuff in here, actually. You got the general chat room here, which everybody is chatting about. A lot of stuff's being posted in there. You have your there's the videos. It's up here somewhere. What is it called? It's called special videos right there. In fact, I think I prefer. I'm going to move that up. I'm going to click and drag this. Let me go ahead and see if I can do that. Special videos. I can click and drag it up. I'm going to put it right under homework submission. And I just added a video. In fact, it's the video from my WonderCon presentation, my Blender and Unreal Engine WonderCon presentation. All right, so that is there. So you can take advantage of it. Let me go ahead and turn that off there. There is my video, and you can also find it under, I think I also put it under the general section. Right about there. If I go up a little bit, at least I thought I did. Or maybe I didn't. Or maybe that's QR code. Okay, maybe I did not, huh? I thought I did. Well, I tell you what, I can do that right now. Special videos, and come right over here and just copy that. I wanted to share my WonderCon 2026 video, and I will put it right into the general section, paste it in, where everybody can now view it there as well. So I've got it in two places, and that'll show up as an icon in just a little bit. So if you go to special videos right there, that's it. So give it a watch, and chat back to me and tell me what you think. That was a fun presentation. WonderCon is basically put on by the same people who do the San Diego Comic-Con. The San Diego Comic-Con people are actually places this in Anaheim. So basically right next door to Disneyland. So in fact, they're using the Disneyland parking lot. So there it is. Okay, there it is. Okay, so someone just mentioned here, I'll try to watch this later, and that's cool. Yeah, very cool. All right, so be aware, we got a lot of stuff in here. You'll see, channels that represent some of the other classes that I teach here. So you're welcome to kind of take a look around. I've got a character and rigging homework there. I've got the 3D shortcuts for Blender. So if you want to learn the shortcuts in Blender, the PDF files are right here. I got a shortcut setup. Now this is the Blender 3D shortcuts there. They're the PDF files. Here are my personal videos where I record how to set up Blender, especially that's going to be advantageous for LightWave users. So come in here and check out some of this stuff, and it's all free. So I'm going to give you guys the link. I'm going to right click. We're going to go over here to invite to server, copy this, and I will put that into the chat box. So I'm going to put down here Discord. There you go. All right, and I'm going to kind of just post it up there. So that's the Discord link. So if you're not part of Discord, join in. It's all free, and it's a lot of good content. The Blender Foundation posts in our Discord account regularly. In fact, if you come over to the announcements, this is where they post. All right, so the Blender Discord official. This is the official Blender Discord is constantly posting into our section. So definitely check this out. Okay. All right. So be a part of that. Join in. Okay. So we got some fun stuff. Now, once again, I posted the link for anybody to jump on the StreamYard. If you want to share it, I'll do that one there to share live. Okay. It's there. Let me minimize Discord here real quick. All right, so jump in live. I will hide that there for the time being. And let's kind of get started. Let's go on and get started. I want to do something before I do more sculpting on our little Stegosaurus here. I want to create more brushes. The advantage of ZBrush is that it gives you a lot of different, alphas already embedded into the brushes. And let me go ahead. I'm also going to do this. I'm going to come over here and fill the screen with, there we go, that way. I don't know, you guys want to see my face or not see my face? You want to see my face? Is that out of the way? I think that's out of the way. Okay. I'm not sure in StreamYard exactly how to move it. So if I want to move it to the right or the left, I'm not sure if I can. Let me click and hold on it and try to move it. Nope, I guess I can't. It must be somewhere in the settings. I'm not going to worry about it right now. What I'm going to do is I want to create more brushes. So ZBrush is nice because it gives you a lot of brushes with alphas already attached to them. Blender gives you some brushes with alphas, but not always. You have to kind of create your own alpha brushes. And I went and did a little bit of search online and looked for what I thought would be some great alphas for this. And let me bring it up real quick. And they're gobo textures is what we call them. That's so odd. I just had it here in front of me. Let me see. There they are. That's it. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to Google. I mean, in using this, maybe it's more than good enough. You could, if you do a search for gobo textures, you can also come over in the Google to more, right? And I've got the images. There should be, not more, but tools. Let's go to tools. You go to tools, you can go to the size, and you can tell it to only show the large size, images. That way you'll get the best quality that you can off of it, that we can get on the internet, and there they are. These look pretty interesting, but I'm kind of liking this one here. And I think I'll make a brush from that. We've got, what else do we've got? We've got something like this here. I think I can make a brush from that, which is what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to select it, and I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to save this. Okay. This is not the actual image, so let me click on it and see what we can get. So that's the image there. So I'm going to have to do some screen capturing on this, just to get these textures. And of course, Windows has the little screen capturing program called Snip Tool. And I'm going to do a new snip, and I'm just going to grab that right there. That's all I need. All right. And there's the snip. So once I have it, I'm going to save as, right? I'm going to go ahead and save this texture. I'm going to bring it into Photoshop and edit it just a little bit to make it brush worthy in Blender, so to speak. And I'll share with you guys what brush worthy means. And so we're going to take this. I'm going to go ahead and go to my lessons folder and go to my presentations. And I believe I should have a Blender Twitch folder here. Let me see what I've got in here. So I always forget where I put things. Let me come down to maybe something. And that's what I really should do. I should do just a folder just for our Twitch presentations. I may have one for the Stegosaurus. I tell you what, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get organized here because, like all artists, have a tendency to slack off my organization, which is not a good thing for 3D at all. Command Shift N, making a new folder, and we're going to make a brand new folder just calling Twitch presentations. And we're going to start fresh, so that way we know where things are. And then in that folder, I will make a subfolder and call it Stegosaurus. I'll capitalize the S. Stegosaurus. All right, and in that folder, we're going to need an images folder, right? So Command Shift N, images. This is where all my images that I'm going to be using double click it, and we're going to save it right there. I'm not going to rename it or anything. We can deal with that in Photoshop. I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at a bunch of these, and I'm going to utilize them. So I've got this one here. I think could be handy if I click on it. It's going to the same site. I think that will be instrumental. So I will go ahead and outline this and save that. I clipped it off there a little bit. I want to do it again. So the snippet tool is native inside of Windows 11. So it's a screen capturing tool. Okay, I'm going to save the file as, and there we go. And we'll just save that there. In fact, I'll bring this, well, I'll keep this over to the side. It's going to get in the way there. Let's go over to back to our global textures. And oh, this one's kind of good. Look at this one here. That one's kind of nice. All right. So if I click on that, yep, nice large size there. And I'm going to have to reduce it down just a little bit so I can get it within the page. All right, that's going to work. So let's grab that one. I'm going to just select that there. That works. And we will save the file. There it is again. We can see the other two here. So we're going to make custom brushes, and you can make as many brushes as you want. And I highly recommend you come through here. Here's a good one. That's a real good one there. So let's and remember in Blender, white means that's going to be your alpha, and black means it'll be blocked out. So white reveals and black conceals, or black conceals and white reveals. Kind of similar to terminology in Photoshop. So let's see if I can right click on this one and save as. Let's see what this will do. It's not saving. Oh, this is a JPEG file. Oh, fantastic. Okay, fantastic. So I don't have to do a screen capture. I'll just do a save as on this one. Go to my lessons folder, and we're going to go to the Twitch presentations. See Twitch right there? Well, no, not Twitch right there. Lessons folder, not my fault. My fault. I wasn't paying attention. Lessons folder 0 presentations, and then Twitch. Twitch presentations right there, Stegosaurus right there, and images are going to go right in there and save it. Okay. I'm going to grab this one here as well. That looks kind of good. Let me right click on this, save as. It's saving it as a JPEG. Good. All right. So I'm going to, I'm surprised it's not showing the other JPEG image, and it may be because it is doesn't have the extension on the end. So .jpg. My operating system, I don't have in the preferences. I don't have it set up to show the extensions. I need to do that. Okay, we've got more here. So look at this. So we can do more than just create brushes with these. We can also use these as global lighting, right? Creating volumetric lighting with these shapes, which is kind of cool. I like this one quite a bit. So if I right click on it and save as, see, there they are. And it's a JPEG. It's seeing those now. Good. Oh, this is a good one. This will be more beneficial than you think. Right click on it, save as, and now this one's going to be a PNG. Saving it. That's right. We're stealing the images off the internet. And if you guys have any questions at all, just go ahead and ask anytime. All right, I'm going to scroll right through. Oh, here's a good one. That's a good one, right? Well, we got all this text on here, but we can deal with that in Photoshop, right? So let's go right click on this one, save image as, and it's a JPEG, so I'm going to save it. Remember, this is all for educational purposes, so it doesn't really matter. Look at these great little gobos. So keep in mind, this is going to be twofold, right? So when we create the dinosaur, and we start creating an environment for the dinosaur and the lighting for the dinosaur, these are things will become really handy for lighting. So right click, save image as. Cool. Everything's moving right along smoothly there. Right click, save image as and PNG. Cool. Seeing everything. Um, Here's one with multiples on it. I suppose I could use that. I tell you what, we got this one here. That's kind of cool. Right click, save as. Yep, sees it. Oh, look at these ones with the water. All right, so I'm just kind of going through here. This makes a great brush. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. So paisley like looking designs, perfect. Right click, save as. Do that there. The ones with the trees are going to be invaluable. Right click, save as. All right, then we kind of go that one. That one could be handy. Why not? We'll use it. Save as. The saving goes pretty quick. Okay, it's a web file on this one, right? So I can't save it as a JPEG. So if I click on it, this is where I go to my snippet program. Okay. Oh well, allow all. Okay. All right. We're going to kind of get this aligned like that. Okay, cool. Go to my snippet program and we'll just capture this. Okay. Real quick. Okay, done. Save as, right click, save as. There it is. As you can see, it sees the other PNGs. I believe that is saving it as a PNG. And we'll just go over now. These colorful ones can be really handy too. You can put those into lights, and the lights will only shine these color effects. Ooh, how about this one right there? Oh, I like that. I like this right here. Right click to see if I can save that as a JPEG. Yes, I can. That's nice. Now it's giving me more options here. Trust me, when you're sitting at home, spend the time and do this stuff, right? It's a JPEG images, Stegosaurus images. I don't know why it's not showing the other JPEGs, but no big deal. We'll save it in there. We've got more colorful stuff like this here. Right click, save image as, and this one's a GIF, so it won't show anything. All right, just kind of coming through. This is a nice one right there. One with the leaves there. Right click, save as. And that's a web file too. So again, I'm going to have to use my snippet. Let's see. I want to expand it. There we go. Snippet. There we go. And grab it. This is good. We'll go about like that close. That works. Right click, save as. And there it is. You can see all my other brushes are in there. Okay, we're not gonna make brushes out of all of them, but you get to see the procedures at least. And I did share once before, but it's worth kind of sharing again. Right? I think you can see what we're going to do ultimately, right? So for lighting purposes, this is what those gobos can be used for. All right. And if you look over here, kind of get rid of this here. Let's see, you got the light source and the gobos can be actually projected through the light. Like this one here. Let's click on this one. This is what you ultimately can be using this for, putting it into your light system inside a Blender, and it will project all of that. And it can add a nice visual effect to your scene. Accept all cookies, all types of stuff popping up all over. There's another quick little example of how that can be used. So, but we're going to use it for brushes as well, right? All right, time to drink some water here. Okay, so I think we're done. We're done playing around looking. Let's go to Bridge, Adobe Bridge. You guys should have Adobe's Photoshop. You should have Adobe Bridge. It's not an option. No, we want to work professionally. And you can see I was already in another folder while I was playing around with textures. But we're going to go to the one that we created for this class. I'm going to go to the folder here. We will go to our lessons folder, which were already there. Presentations were already there. Go down here. So this is my navigation here on the left-hand side. So I'm going to navigate to Twitch. Right there, presentations, Stegosaurus folder, images folder. There they all are. Now, so that I don't have to go back and look for the Twitch presentations over and over and over again, I'm going to go up here to the top to find the folder itself. So I'm going to go to the root, which is the presentations folder. Go get the Twitch folder down here on the right-hand side now to show up here. So over here to my left is my navigation, my previews here in the middle. And let's go find Twitch. There it is, Twitch presentations. Now, in Bridge, we have a favorite section. It's right next door to the folders on the left-hand side here. So right now I'm in the folder tab. Go to the favorites tab. And what I can do is grab the Twitch presentation, drag it right there. That way it's stuck in favorites, so I don't have to go look for this anymore. So I just simply go here, click on that link, and I'm there, right? Images, and I'm there. Down at the bottom, I have my slider bar. Make it bigger, make it smaller, right? There, everything that I've just saved. And we're going to modify this for Blender brushes. We'll start with this one here. Let's go get Photoshop. Let's open it up real fast, and then we're going to modify just a few of these, and especially the ones that I might want to use for the dinosaur. All right, so Photoshop is open. You can see some of these already. Now, this makes a great skin texture, which I already have inside of Blender, by the way. I'll share that with you in just a little bit. This one's a great one, too. These are the images, just ignore. I was playing around with some of my photography artwork. So let's go back to Bridge. And let's go modify that thing. So I think we want this one here first. All right, so you got all this little extra text in here, and I can deal with that. So if I simply, let's go ahead and just duplicate the layer. So Command J here. You can make everything a smart object in Photoshop. So that way it becomes non-destructive. So if you want to always go back to the original, you can at any time, right? So if I hit right click here, and then create a smart object there. Now I can go to Command or Control M, which is a shortcut for curves. And this text here is basically a medium gray, which I can affect. So if I just bring that on over, it's gone, right? So I'm just taking the tone down. It's gone. I want it completely gone. All right, I want the bottom to be completely gone as well. So this is a smart object. So I can go in the object itself by double clicking. Now I'm in the object, which means I really want that bottom part to just go black. So I'm going to just select it. And understand, it's bringing us back to the original, right? To the original file. So fill this with black. So fill with the foreground color. Look at my toolbar, foreground and background color. Alt or Option Backspace is a shortcut to fill with the foreground color. Alt or Option Control or Command and Backspace will fill with the foreground color. Or the background color. So Alt or Option Backspace, the foreground color. Command or Control Backspace is the background color. Had it backwards there. Okay, so we're done. Command S is all I need to do. Close this out. And then there we go. There's our file. So we don't want hard edges for your brushes. Okay, it's just to make this really clear. You do not want these hard edges, right? So what we want to do is we want to soften them up. If we get in close, you can see a little bit of artifacting in there. It's not going to matter when we apply this next step. Because we want these edges to be blurred, right? The brushes in Blender are going to work best when things are blurred out. Filter menu, blur, right? Go to filter menu, blur, Gaussian blur. There, that's what you want. That's what you want. I'm getting close. Yeah, see, all those artifactings are gone now because it made it part of the blurred edge. This is what you want. Now, how much? This is why we say this is a smart object, because if we go into Blender and it's almost right, but it's still too hard, you can come back to Photoshop as a smart object and edit this anytime, right? So just make that part of your workflow. So if I come over to I'm going to make it a little bit more blurred, a little more. I'm going to bring the slider to the right a little bit more and see. Yeah, that may be too much. I want those dots to be definitive, but not. Let's see what we get here. All right, we'll take a chance with that. Okay. So we'll click OK. Now, once this is done, we need to save it out as a PNG. So the white is going to be your brush. It's going to be your alpha that Blender's going to use. The black will not show up. It becomes completely transparent. So we've got exactly what we need. This is ideal. This is an ideal brush here. So in other words, it's not hard edges. It's not a definitive square shape like you're seeing on the sides of the black sides here, outer borders. It's a circular round alpha that Blender can use as a brush. So I'm going to right click on this top layer, right click on the top layer, and simply come down to export as PNG. Okay, so now I'm going to put it into, I'm going to go my presentations folder, my lessons presentations, and I'm going to go all the way down to my Twitch, right? Go find Twitch. It's in alphabetical order. And there it is. Twitch presentations are there. Stegosaurus is there. And then I'm going to make a new folder and call it alphas, brush alphas. I want to keep really organized here because you know me, I get disorganized sometimes. So brush alphas. And right now I'm kicking myself in the rear about that because, I'm getting, tens of thousands of photos and I'm setting up the site to start selling them. So I've got to be organized. There can be no excuses. Brush alphas. There we go. Go inside that folder and just give this a name. So we'll call this one Moti Dots. So Moti -dots. I'm just making it up. Done. That one's done. All right. So I can close. Oh, that's actually one. Hold on. Before we close this out, we want to save this one. Command-Shift-S. Cannot be saved as a JPEG without losing information. I don't want it as a JPEG. All right. That is the reason why I went Command-Shift-S, which means save as. So I don't want it as a JPEG. So under my Stegosaurus presentation, we have the brush alphas, right? I'm going to make one more folder, and I'm going to call it original brushes. I'm going to call it original brushes. And we'll give it the same name as what I named the final one, which was Moti Dots. Moti -dots. And save this as a TIFF file because your operating system can read TIFF files. Normally, they cannot read PSD files. At least for Windows, Windows will not read PSDs, but it will read TIFFs fine. All right. So multi dots, original brushes, and save it. Okay. So we're just saving the original and why in case we need to go back and edit it. Right. So we're done. Control W. Just close it out. Okay. Go back to the next one. Let's see. Let's do this one next real quick. That one should be pretty easy. So open it in Photoshop. We want black to conceal. You got a perfect alpha in here. It's perfect. All the colors in there. All I'm going to do is go to my selection tool. Remember, the key to mastering Photoshop is mastering selections. Hold the Alt option and I can click it outward like this. It'll drag from the center. Go just to the outside of my actual colors, right? And then we're going to inverse the selection, which is Control Shift I. And all you're going to do is fill it with black. So the foreground color is already black here, right? So Alt or Option and backspace is filled with the backup with the foreground color. Done. This brush is done. It's ready to go. So now right click. Well, we got to unlock it here. And if you want to, just Command J, duplicate the layer. So right click, export as a PNG. It takes me back to the folder. We're going to call this one multicolor. Okay. And save this one, Command Shift S. Yeah, whatever. Just say don't show me again. That's annoying. Stegosaurus, original brushes, multicolor. So give it the same name. As a TIFF file. And save it as a LZW TIFF. You don't need to ignore everything else. Command and Control W is close. We're done. Command or Control, Alt or Option held down together, and O is a shortcut to take you back to Bridge. The same shortcut, Command or Control, or Alt and Option held down together, O, takes you back to Photoshop. It's a toggle. Okay. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. I'm going to close that one out. I don't need that one, but I need that there. I did it again. Sorry, fumble fingers today. All right, let's check out another one. So I go to my sliders here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so we can see what we're doing. A little slider bar right down here in the middle. For those who are not that familiar with Photoshop, here's a good alpha here. All right, I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. Enter key, open it up in Photoshop. This one is not very big, I don't think. If I Command or Control, yeah, you can see it's not very large. No big deal. We're going to go and enlarge it. Image size, and tell you what, we'll make it a minimum. If I go over here to pixel size, right? It's a 2025. So let's make this a minimum of 1024. That'll work. That'll be fine. Command or Control 0 fills the screen. So what we've done is we've interpolated the image, right? So we've interpolated the image, and therefore the edges are not going to be that sharp, but we don't care, right? So interpolation doesn't matter because we're going to blur the edges. The idea here is I want this pattern, the black patterns, to be white. So I want the whites with the white side, the blacks with to be the opposite color. Okay, so I'm going to think about how I'm going to handle this, because I'm thinking personally that I'm more interested. I'm going to add another layer up here, make it red. I'm kind of more interested in, get my brush here, in all these areas in here. So all of this here in here, that's what I'm interested in. I'm not so interested in the stuff on the outside. So I want to get that, and then I want to inverse my brush. Okay. So, all right, I'm going to undo that one. And let's duplicate the layer. So Command or Control J. And I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and get the lasso tool. So the L key is a shortcut for the lasso tool. Or the second tool down here on the left-hand side on the toolbar, lasso tool. So I'm going to go grab this lasso all around the areas that I want to keep, staying within the white areas. I don't want that. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to go all the way to here. I think I'll cut that out too. I'm going to keep this one out here. Now I'm drawing on the Cintiq, so it's a big advantage. And again, that's why you're kind of seeing me looking to the side here. It's because I am on the Cintiq, drawing directly on the screen, the Wacom Cintiq. I'm going to bring this around and around. I'm almost done. Bring this through, almost there. There we go. We got it selected. Cool. All we need to do is hit Command or Control J, which will place it onto its own layer. Turn everything else off, and you've got it right there. Okay. I'm going to just delete. You can see what I've done is I just cut away the piece from the hole. And I'm going to hit the E key for the eraser tool. Okay. And just erase out all this black area I don't want. Okay. So I'm going to inspect it. It looks good. It looks good everywhere else. And it looks great everywhere else. Matter of fact, I can probably erase a little bit of that there to make that more, make it more part of that island there. Here's another little piece there. I want to get that black out and scope this to make it part of the island. Okay. Okay. All right, that's it. So next I'm going to go down and give it an adjustment layer. Let's select the layer right below it, so that when I add an adjustment layer, the adjustment layer I'm going to add is going to be solid color, which is we want white, right? Pure white. There we go. As you can see now, I've missed something up here. So right up here, I can see where I've kind of not paid attention. Get all that out and get all this out. You can see there's a little bit of gray tonality within the white area. We're going to ignore it because we're going to let the curves actually deal with that for us. There's my brush. There's my brush. Okay, let's go ahead and apply a curves to this. So Command or Control, actually let's get in close so you can see it. Because the idea here is to make this pure white. Command or Control. Now, once again, we can make that a smart object. So right click on that, make it a smart object, so that when we add Command or Control M for curves, the whites are what we're interested in. So pull the whites over here. Come on. Until they're white like that. As white as the background. The darks, pull that on over and make them richer. Just a little bit, not too much. You want to make sure those whites are going to be white, white, white. There we go. We got it. That should do it. That's it. That's our brush. All right. So now we're going to add a Gaussian blur, right? So filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Yeah. We can probably keep that. Remember my last setting, right? I think that's going to work. So I'm gonna stick to that there. So I'm going to click OK. And that's going to work. Let's right click. Let's go to export as PNG. And we got our brush alphas here. So I tell you what, why don't we call this giraffe spots? Because that's what it looks like to me. I don't know how to spell giraffe, but giraffe spots. I figured how to spell giraffes. All right, so giraffe spots. And somebody's going to type in the chat box. This is how you spell giraffe. Cool. All right, I've got that one there. So that one's good. So now the mistake I made is this. I forgot to inverse, right? I forgot to inverse because the blacks need to be the whites. So Control or Command I. Oh, that's selected. So I got to undo that again. All right. And let me make sure everything below is turned off. Everything's white. So this will be the most beneficial. Let's merge everything into its own layer. Command or Control Alt or Option Shift E. That puts everything in its own layer, solid. Now Command I. There's my brush. Right click. Export draft spots, replace it, and save it. Okay, that works. Save this into the original brushes folder, giraffe spots. It's a TIFF file. Click there. Okay. All right, let's see if we want to do any more brushes. Just to see what might work. Okay, I think the draft spots are really going to help. This one is intriguing. This one is very intriguing. Let's open that up in Photoshop. I'm going to close out the others over here. Only have that one there. Duplicate the file. Command J. All right. So this one's very, very intriguing. And I think I'm kind of going, let me hit Command 0. Let me look at my sizing here. So a square format is ideal for making brushes, guys. So square brushes are ideal. And the better, I mean, it's a 571. I'm going to go, I want a minimum of 10. I personally like 1920, but we can do that. We can go 1920. In fact, let me undo that real quick because I want to. Well, I tell you what, it doesn't matter. We'll just put in a 1920 for both. So 1920 by 1920. It's going to interpolate it, softening up the edges a little bit. That's always the result of interpolation, but that's a good thing, right? Because we're going to blur it anyway. So right click, we're going to go to Smart Object. We're going to go here to Filter Blur, Gaussian Blur. I think that'll work. Now, I don't know how good this brush is going to work, but it's worth a try. So I've got all this white content in there that might produce some interesting effects. So right click and export PNG. What are we going to call this one? We're going to call this one Messy Abstract. Messy Abstract. And save it. Okay, then save this file, the original brushes, paste in Messy Abstract, and save it. Okay. All right, we're done. So we're just going to do a few brushes. I'm going to close out Photoshop to conserve memory, right? Because Photoshop is a real memory, and so is Bridge, but Bridge is not as bad as Photoshop, so I'm not going to worry about it so much. Let's go back to Blender. And let's make some brushes. All right, so my Blender is set up so that my image over here is over to the left. And as you can see, I use some of the brushes to create, some of the skin-like texture. And that's that crosshatch brush that I showed you earlier. In fact, Shift Spacebar, if you take a look at this, you've got, let's see, the crosshatch brush is in here somewhere. And it may be one of those brushes that I have not yet did a preview for. And that's going to be a problem because you're not going to remember where anything is. Like you got a spike brush here. It does something, but you're not quite sure what it does because you don't have a visual of it. So I tell you what, why don't we do that now? In fact, let me see what I've got inside. Let me go back to Bridge real quick. Here, my crosshairs brush is not in there. I do know where it is. It's in this previous Stegosaurus folder. So let me see. I'll see what I can do. So I'm going to come over. Let me open up Photoshop because I've got an idea. So I think Photoshop remembered where that brush is. So I'm going to just real quick. I thought I saw the brush in Photoshop when I opened it up. I could be wrong. If not, I'm not going to worry about it. So Photoshop is here. Come on, open up. And it's going to give my preview icons. There it is. All right. Let's see if there it is right there. That's the brush I'm interested in. Open it up. It's already opened. And let me save this. And you can tell already that it's a small brush. So I'm going to come over here to the size. Go to inches. Go to pixels. 256. Yeah. I'm just going to go to 1024. Let's not enlarge it too much. There we go. Click OK. There we go. So Command 0. And I'm going to give it a slight little Gaussian blur. Going to my layers, I'm going to duplicate it. Now, if you take a look at the white is everything outside and the crosshatches is black. So basically what it's doing is creating raised skin. Right? This brush is creating raised skin. So what I like to do is I'm going to add just a little bit of contrast. So Command or Control M for curves. This brush, by the way, is not an RGB. It's a grayscale. I must have downloaded it somewhere that was only a grayscale. I personally like to work in RGB. So I'm going to say don't flatten. All right. Now, Command or Control M are blacks, midtones, highlights. Let's give the blacks a little bit of strength. Like so, see? Maybe give it some nice little strength in there. Give the highlights a little more solid white. Now give it a Gaussian blur. So right click, Smart Object, Filter, Blur, Gaussian blur. There. Yeah, that'll work. Maybe pull it down just a little bit. Okay. Right click and export as PNG. We're going to call this one skin. So we've got them exactly where we want them. Done. Command Shift S. Stegosaurus. And I want this under, hold on a minute. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. I want presentations, Twitch. I better check to make sure I saved the other one in the proper folder. Twitch presentations, Stegosaurus. Let me make sure this is original brushes there. Not as a PSD, but as a TIFF. Skin. Cool. All right. Now let me go check real quick to make sure I save that skin in the right folder. It will show up here under the Twitch presentations images if it's not here. Yeah, that's what I thought I did. I saved it in the other folder accidentally. No big deal. We'll go back to Photoshop, right click, export PNG. Oh, it says I'm in the right folder. Presentation, Twitch presentation, Stegosaurus, brush alphas. Okay, we're there. I think it's there. Go back, take a look again. Oh, you know what? I'm in images and not in brush alphas. That's my fault. Okay. So Stegosaurus, brush alphas. There it is right there. Okay, cool. All right. That's it. That's all we're gonna do. Those are our brushes. And we're gonna create new brushes. So we're gonna basically alter Blender into more of a ZBrush environment where we have a whole bunch of different brushes, except this time it's gonna be of our choosing. So the question is Blender as fast as ZBrush at this point? I want to give you my humble opinion, and that is yes. The new 5.1 that just came out is pretty much as fast as ZBrush now. ZBrush still has some advantages, but the speed is really improved upon speed quite a bit. Let's go play. Let's go into Blender and let's create some brushes. Let's go ahead and get rid of Photoshop. And here are my brushes. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab my standard draw brush. I think that will be advantageous. Let me look for it. It's right there. Okay. So I know that because if I come in here and test it on a dinosaur and I start to draw, it just makes a regular, a smooth stroke. Okay, I'm gonna undo that. Now that I have that selected, Shift Spacebar, I'm going to duplicate this brush. Now I've showed you guys this before. You need to create a folder where Blender knows where to place all of your custom brushes. I've already done that, and I've shown that to you in a previous video. I'll show you again quickly. Edit menu, preferences, file paths on the left-hand side. Under assets library, the brushes must be saved as an asset, right? So I created the asset. I made a new folder called custom brushes. So, and it tells me exactly where it is. It's right down here in the bottom. I put it inside my Blender projects, which is where I put all of my clients' Blender projects. Inside that Blender projects folder, I made a brand new folder and called it Zero Assets Library. I put in 0 on the front so that it always pops up to the top of the list. And then inside the assets library, I made a brand new folder called Custom Brushes. Then I told Blender to navigate to that folder and make that folder part of the assets library. So now Blender knows that's part of your assets. How does it know it's part of your assets? Because it's right here inside this section here. How do you add a new asset library? Hit the plus and navigate to where you wanted it to go. Once you click OK, it'll show up here in the assets library. It's that simple. And it'll stay that way practically forever until you decide to go change it. Okay, so that's done. So the assets library is there. Now watch what Blender does. So now we're going to go to Shift Spacebar. There's my draw brush, and it's easy peasy. Right click on the brush and simply say duplicate that asset. When you click duplicate, it's going to ask 2 questions. What do you want to rename it, and what library do you want this to go into? So we're going to rename this one. Let's see. What alpha do we want to use first? Let's use the skin. We do skin alpha. So let's say I'm going to capitalize this skin. What library do I want it to go into? Easy peasy. Drop it down, custom brushes. It's reading everything that's in your assets library. Let's ask you, well, where do you want this to go? Well, you want all your brushes to go into custom brushes. So select it and you're done. All you do now is you click save. And where is it? Right there. It says skin. Right? It says skin. Now, the problem is we don't know what it looks like. So we need to create a preview for this skin. All right, so here's the fun. Here's where it gets fun. Let's jump out of here, go back in the Blender. Let's, we got the skin brush selected. So let's, I tell you what, let's go ahead. I want to save this Stegosaurus real quick, Command-Shift-S. And I will get out of here and we are going to go back up to presentations folder. Come on down to Twitch, presentations, save the Stegosaurus into the root of the Stegosaurus folder there. That way, if I ever need to come back to this in a later Twitch broadcast, I know where it is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a brand new file. So I'm going to go to my file menu up here. All right, I'm going to kind of bring this down, go to file menu, new in general. Okay. All right. So let's make a quick little plane. So Shift A, mesh plane. Hit the period key to get in close. Let's go inside edit mode, right click, subdivide. Subdivide this by 100. I want nice and smooth. There we go. Get back out in the object mode. Give this a modifier. You want multi-resolution. Whenever you're doing sculpting, you want to give it a multi-resolution modifier. It works like a subdivision surfaces, but it's not the same thing. I need to subdivide this 3 times. 1, 2, 3. That's going to give even more smooth results. I'm going to now hit the tab key, go to my sculpt mode. Let me make sure I'm in the right brush and look for my skin brush. It should be in alphabetical order. Okay, that looks like it there. Let me see. You know, but this is actually showing it as a smooth brush. So this is the wrong brush. Let me go to object mode, select that. Okay, go back to sculpt mode. And we need to find the correct brush. So shift spacebar. And then we have another skin brush right up here. So this may be it. Oh, no, I'm not sure if that's it. And I'll tell you why. So let me go back to my brushes. I may have made too many brushes called skin. I only see 2 here. All right, there's my draw brush here. And there's skin. I got skin here. There really should have been in alphabetical order, but let me grab that one. Let me make sure this is. All right, so I'm not getting an effect here. I want to check something out here. Let me go here and landscape, pull this out. Come on. There. Okay, that is working. All right, that's working. All right, okay, so these are my grab brushes. That's why they're in yellow. Okay. If I go back to, let's go find out. I got a scrape brush, got a skin brush here. I'm just going to scan these visually because I thought I saw another skin brush. All right, I'm only seeing one here. And I'm seeing another here. So Let me try this one. Here, I'm going to go to 100% because I'm using a Cintiq. Okay, there we go. Good. That's the brush I want. That's the brush I created. All right, that's the second skin brush. So we need to give it an alpha now. Gonna undo it, undo, go back down. There we go. Okay. We need to give it an alpha now. If I come over here, hit the N key for numerics and hit the tool, you have your brushes right up here. You have your preview, your brush at the top. If we come on down here, you have what's called the texture. If you want to open up the texture, that's where you should see your alpha. We haven't brought in an alpha yet. We want that skin brush to be our alpha. So we need to bring in the texture. We need to bring it in as a texture. So the colorful icons on the right-hand side, the properties, drag those up, hit this little checkered flag. This is where you bring in your image to be your alpha. So Blender's using black and white information. So click on New. And at the top, you've got image or movie. All right, we got image or movie. We come down, we go open the image. All right, so we need to go over to where we put all the alphas, which is going to be my lessons folder. 0 presentations, Twitch presentations. See, I remember where everything is. Right there, Twitch presentations, Stegosaurus, brush alphas. Okay, and there are my alphas. Double click on the skin. And there it is. It's going to show up right there. Okay. So now if I paint, there it is. See? You got skin. Now what I like to do is this. I want to tell the brush to take on a different visual technique. So for the stroke style is spacing. So I can draw, and it's going to draw based on whatever spacing I give it. You can see it has a nice little, almost a elephant or dinosaur skin effect on there. Because using the white areas to be the areas that's going to lift up. But if I go over here to drag dot and click and drag, you can see what it does. Now I have that at 100% strength up here at the top, right? And there's my drag dot. If I undo that and go to 0.5, go to half and see what it looks like. There we go. It does something like that. And you can get a better view as to what's happening. All right, now I'm in material view. If I go to render view, there we go. Now I get a better view. I want to basically what I'm going to do is I'm setting this up so I can create a preview of this, so I always know what brush I'm using. So I'm rendering, got my lights on here. If I select my lights up here on the top right of the panel here, so our light layer here. If I come down to the bottom, let's see, the light's not on. Is something turned off? The collection may be turned off. So let me check this out. There's the plane. There's the light. And the light's not showing up for some reason. Let me find out why. It's viewing it as if it's locked. And that collection should not be locked. It should be on. Okay. Everything is on. The light source. So not activating. Interesting. Let's drag it out of this folder. Put it into the scene folder. Select it. That's really odd. All right, delete it. Shift A. I'm going to be in the scene option. Shift A. Let me get out of here. Oh, that was why it did it. Okay, I just realized what I did. Let me undo. Can I bring my light back? Yeah, there we go. I was not in object mode. I was in sculpting mode. There we go. Select the light. There it is. Okay, so I can increase the light exposure. In fact, I may want to bring it to the side a little bit. Let me bring it down, hit the N key to make that panel go away. Let's go, the light is selected, and let's hit the period key, and we can see that it's way over here. Select it. Go to my move tool, let's bring it back this way. Bring it down to the side. Right, I want this to point at that plane. So with the light selected, I'm gonna go to my my constraint under the tracking, track to, and track it to the plane there. So it's always pointing at that. See, and I can get that side lighting, place it wherever I want. All right, now I'm going to select the plane, getting close. The light's kind of too hot. Go to the light properties. It's a point. Of course, there's 1,000 up here, right, for the power. Let's give it 100. There we go. And then just slowly bring up the light. So. Okay, that looks good. All right, so last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my preview. I want it to be a square, right? So if I come over here to the output, which is right below your 35 millimeter camera on your right-hand side, go to the output. I got 1920 by 1080. Let's make that, what would you say, 1920 by 1920? Now, Command or Control, Alter, and Alter option. So Control, Alter, Option 0 on your numeric side of your keyboard should take me to my camera view. So if I come over to here, there. Make sure that on your vertical menu on the left-hand side, hitting the N key, under your view option, camera to view is selected. Hit the N key, make it go away, so that way you can navigate through your camera. So there we go. That's going to be the setup I'm going to use to preview this. Now all I'm going to do is render it. So F12, there it is. Bring it down. There's my preview. Save the preview, image menu, save as. Now, I'm going to save this. Yeah, I suppose I'll save this inside the same folder under Stegosaurus just to keep organized. So lessons, presentations, go to Stegosaurus. It'll take a little bit of time on your part to kind of organize all your brushes and create your brushes, but when you're done, you're going to be a lot happier. There's my Stegosaurus. Now, they're the alphas. So what I like to do is just probably make a separate folder, right? So we'll call it alpha previews. So right click, new folder, alpha. Oops, I got it. Get the caps lost. Unlocked. Alpha previews. And this was skin, right? So let me go. Is there stuff already in there? Let me see. Presentations. Oops, I've got the wrong. Let me make sure I'm in the right folder here. So lessons. And under my lessons folder, go to my presentations. and go over to Twitch. Let's make sure I've got this right. Twitch presentation, Stegosaurus. Yep. Alpha preview. So, right. So I was in the wrong folder, wasn't I? Alpha previews. Awesome. Okay, this one's skin. Save the image. Okay, done. All right, now I'm just going to close that out. So now we go back to scoped mode. So tab key, scoped mode, shift space bar. The skin is selected already. All right, no problem. Come over here, M key, get your panel, hit your tool. Okay, this is my brush. That skin that's right there in the bottom. Tell you the name of it. Drop down this right up here. Just to the right-hand side, a little down tick. Edit the preview image. Go navigate to the image. Now, if I had this saved, in fact, here, I'll just show you this way. Let me save this to the proper folder. Command-Shift-S. Presentation Twitch Stegosaurus. And I'm going to call this one Brush Creator. If you have this file saved in that folder, so when you come up to here and go to Edit Preview, it'll jump to that folder. So I don't have to go navigating looking for stuff again. Alpha brushes, Alpha previews right here. Double click it, grab it. There it is. There's your preview now. Now you know what brush you're going to be using every time. If I hit Shift Space Bar, there it is. See? You can now see it. Now, these other ones was using a standard shader preview to capture. And you can do that. I just did an absolute render. Let's go do a couple more, and then we're going to take a break. Hopefully this presentation is helping you guys. Just everybody gets quiet sometimes in these morning presentations. You're wondering, is this really, let me see who's all here. Yep, everybody's still there. Okay, so let's do another brush real quick. Now, what you can easily do is this, right? We have the skin brush selected. That is the brush we want. We can just duplicate this, right? So right click. Now let's go get the alpha and figure out exactly which one we want to do next. So go here. How about if we do this messy abstract next? Let's try that. So right click, duplicate the brush, call it messy abstract. What library is it going into? We want it in that brush library. Custom brushes. Click Save. Messy is there. Then all you do at this point is go get the alpha, right? So we go add a texture, right? We're going to come over to here. Let's see if we can add. I guess we don't have to add a new brush. We can just simply come here and just go open again. Brush alpha, messy abstract, right? All right, so messy abstract, is it there? Yes, there it is. Interesting. I want to come down here to mapping, go to alpha, and I want to hit calculate. That I find to be very, very handy. All right, so if I come over to here, I need to change the preview, right? If I come down here, there's my texture. but I got to change the preview. So let's go do a preview. Let's go to get out of the get this here. Get out of this, and I'm going to undo. See if I can undo this here. Undo, 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 undo. Oh, it's not going to. All right, fine. We'll do it this way. Shift key. Here's why I use multi-resolution. It'll be easier. Go to multi-resolution right here. If we just delete it, that goes away, right? Add another multi-resolution, just so that you're aware of this. Give it 3 levels of subdivide. We're ready. We're golden now. All right, so go back to scope mode. Just go check my brush real quick. Hit the N key. Yep, there's my messy. Now I'm going to go ahead and make a preview. Let's see. If I see, there it is. There's my brush, or the results of my brush. And I'm at 0.5, right? So I'm going to undo it. What if I went to 0.4 so it's not so strong? All right, make the brush a little bigger. See that? You can see the preview of the alpha in there. And if I just click it once, there it is. That's all I need. So Command Alt 0. There's my camera. Get in close. All right, and if I let's take a look at it in material mode, or take a look at it in standard solid mode like this. Okay, so if I go to render, if I come over here to my render options, there's a FYI. Go to my render options, and let's see, I've got, oh, you know what? I just realized that I am not in, under the render options, I am not in cycles. Go to cycles there. And I want GPU compute. Okay, that's going to give me a much better result. Denoise, add that on there. So if I now go to Z key render, see what it looks like. Why is it not rendering? Why are we not seeing it? Go over here to your modifier, and the levels of preview, it should see it. So if I put this on, that should see it, and that's very odd. Lights are there. Very odd. Very odd. Let me do a quick little render and see what happens. Oh, it works. It is working. Oh, that must be just a little bit of a bug in Blender. So there's my texture. So I'm going to come over here. It's still rendering. See, it's 4096, which is ridiculous. So, right, for stuff like this, just come over here to your render and take off the 1024 and just go to 30 samples. Take off the 4096 for the render and give it 30 samples. So you'll be done with it, right? Now F12. And you look up here at the top, it's giving you your render results. 27 or 30 samples right now. It should be done in no time. There it is. It's all done now. That looks great. Image menu, save as, put it in here. Messy abstract, right? So messy abstract. Overwrite. Nope. There it is. Last thing I'm going to do is go to preview. So N key. There is my brush alpha. Up here is my preview. Right, drop it down. Edit preview image. There it is. Double click it. It's there. It'll be there forever until you change it. Isn't that cool? So there you go. Brushes. Um, we've got a break now. We got to take a break. So I'm going to bring this over to here. We're going to go to a 15-minute timer. 15-minute break. And I'm going to click that. It's going to be a little bit of a preview. Time to really droop my teeth. All right. Stop the commercial. There we go. Okay. So there we go. Shut up. 15-minute break. I'm going to mute my camera and mic temporarily. All right, we are back. Let's see if my camera's working now. My camera was acting up a little bit earlier. The camera just stopped working all of a sudden. Let's see. Yep, it sure did. No big deal. We're going to share the whole screen anyway. I just heard the disconnect sound for the camera, and then it just stopped working. So I'm plugging it out of the USB port and plugging it back in, and it doesn't seem like it's maybe my camera was going out on me. Who knows? I've got two additional ones in the back. We'll plug it in for next week. So, anyways, all right. So we successfully have created some brushes. And let me go back in the Blender. All right, got the previews going. So now when I go back to brushes, I've got my previews here. Here they are. Messy, the messy abstract. I've got my skin brushes. And you can see others here as well. I've got it's called Alpha 64. If I click on that, maybe I'll call this one Dino Scales instead. I can name it here. So Dino Scales. If I go down to the alpha, the texture, you can see what's inside there. All right. And if I go back to my brushes, it's still showing up as Alpha 64 because that's that's probably the way it is inside of the folder. Inside of my library, my assets folder. But we'll see. I'll see if I can find a more efficient way to kind of to rename this here. All right, so let's go back to our dinosaur. Go back to the Stegosaurus. I got a few extra brushes. Let me see. Now, one of those brushes are not going to do that great. I wanted to test it out, which is that messy abstract. I don't think it's going to be that great, but I can play around with that a little bit. File menu. We're going to go to our open recent, and Stegosaurus is right there. Open it up. Okay, so now as an FYI, I've got it. I got to mention this to everybody. We've got Wonderfest coming. All right, so Wonderfest, I am doing a pre-con class, and it's on my site. I'll share that with you. Let's scroll down a little bit. It's something I posted. Actually, it was fairly recent, and there it is. Okay. So I'm doing a Blender pre-con class at Wonderfest. And Wonderfest is the nation's largest scratch building convention and 3D convention. I introduced digital 3D I was the first to introduce digital 3D to the convention in the form of Blender. And they've asked that I do an 8-hour day on Friday. So Friday is the day before the actual conference. So if I'm going to go look for Wonderfest USA real quick, just go to the wonderfest.com. That might be it there. Yes, there it is. Okay, May 30th and 31st in Louisville. Now, some of you, it's only 10 people pretty much allowed in this class. It's a small room. It's a smaller convention. But those who are not going to be there can join us through Zoom online, right? So this is the convention. And they've got a lot of really good guests going to be there, right? Kind of come through here and take a look at this. I'm going to take this. I'm going to put it into the chat for your convenience, of course. All right, and it should be that one right there, wonderfest.com. Check that out. And the cost to go to the convention is inexpensive. But they've got some great stars. Marta Kristen, Lost in Space. I think she played Penny in Lost in Space. A good friend of mine, David Alexander, also did a personal build, enterprise build for him. Another friend of mine, John Eves, he's the one that created the Enterprise E for Paramount for Star Trek series. He works quite a bit with the Star Trek team. Um, Rick Steinbeck. I mean, it's a lot of some, and more guests are coming. They're slowly getting the site together. But it's a fun convention because everybody that goes there are actually builders, and the quality of the work is literally off the charts. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. So you can I'll give you the link directly to my website here, where you can actually register for the class. So if you're not there, you'll join us through Zoom online, and it's going to be in Louisville. And let me give you Chromelution.com, and let's go to my workshops. Go to the workshops and Blender 3D, and then right here, the very first one is the Wonderfest. So what we're gonna be doing is everything that we're gonna learn in this class is gonna be related to 3D printing, right? So we're gonna build a landing gear deployment system where we're gonna animate it to go in and out of the ship, and make sure that it works practically in 3D, and then set it up to be 3D printed, so that you can actually use them in reality. So this is going to be fun. And again, this is for those who are beginning level at Blender, the class is for you as well. It's fine. You'll do well in it. So I will grab that link to the actual class and put it in there. So if you're interested, get signed up because it's limited seating. There we go. I'll kind of like do that for you. So I just had to mention that because I'm pretty excited about it. I do this every year at Wonderfest, and it's a joy to kind of be with this crowd of people because, like I said, it's not like a Comic Con where most of the people go to Comic Con just to be spectators. Here, every single person's a builder and are looking to improve their skills. So it's a lot of fun. All right, let's go play. So we got some skin. So you can see a little bit of the skin that I used before. I want to use my new skin texture that I just created. Shift and let's go find it. So okay, here is I'm gonna go. There's my new skin right there. I'm going to select it, and if I resize it, you can see. If I click and hold, I can drag it. So I've got the drag dot option, right? Select it. I'm going to undo that real quick because I want to actually bring it down in size. Now, when I say the drag dot here, let's see, I'm going to go down to texture is there, and drag dot is here. It's under the stroke. I find that helpful. It's one of my favorite settings because I can actually click and preview it before I let go, like this, right? It goes to low resolution as I turn. And then jumps back up to high resolution when I finish turning. So my strength is about 0.5. Let me take it down to 0.4. I'm just going to drag it along in some areas, especially smaller areas in here. I'm probably going to need smaller details. Maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger here so it integrates better with the larger pieces. So you can see a little bit, the resolution's a little bit low. And I'm probably going to need to up the resolution a little bit. Now in ZBrush, you're going to hit your D key or your Shift D to go up and down your resolution. Here you go into your multi-resolution. I've got 5 already, right? That's that's kind of high. Um, if I go to, let's go up one more. It's probably dangerous. Probably dangerous for me. Let me actually, before I do so, let me kind of inspect some of the other areas. I started off with the clay brush, right? Pulling in the textures. And that one is working pretty well, but that's going too deep. It's cutting too deep. So I'm going to take my strength down to 0.2. So some areas of the dinosaur has a sufficient resolution and other areas don't. There we go. That's 0.2. Kind of add a little bit of details in here. And you can overlap the skin a little bit to avoid that doubling look there. And I'm clicking and dragging. Now, maybe somebody has an answer to this because I'm looking for a way to be able to rotate the brush, which for some reason in Blender I thought was there, but I can't seem to find it. If I go to the top, if I right click, I've got a size strength auto smooth. If I go to the top, I'm not seeing a rotate. I've got everything but rotate. If I come over here to my tool, and this is where everything should be, I've got a tilt strength. Huh. I wonder what that is. Let me go and grab this. So I'll press this here. No, that's not rotating the brush. It's just the tilting the brush over the surface of the dinosaur. All right, so if I go to advanced option, I'm not seeing anything for rotation. And I'm going to have to Google that because that's something that I should know, and that's something that Blender should be able to do. But I see nothing in here for brush rotation. Okay, so I'm going to just take that panel away. We're working with, I'm adding a little bit of skin effect. And I'm going to go over it because we have multiple wrinkles throughout the dinosaur. I'm going to add a little bit of wrinkles up in here, especially in here. Start giving us some character, like there's some age to the dinosaur. Come up in here, add a little texture, get it to overlap. Some of these textures are a little bit larger, and that's okay because you're going to have some wrinkles that are larger, but you're going to integrate them with smaller wrinkles. Okay, and I'm going to look at questions in my chat box. I'm not seeing any. So I'm going to assume everybody's just kind of like watching and enjoying. Come down in here. You're going to add more wrinkles in here. Okay, you can see down in here where the resolution starts to drop off. So this is where we're probably using a lot of the grab brushes to pull out that detail. I'm reluctant to use the the dyne topple. So if we pull this down, dyne topple is right under the active tool. The problem with dyne topple is that it's going to, delete all the work that I've already done before it can apply the dyne topple command. So basically, I want to apply dyne topple from the very beginning. I'm not a huge fan of that because it's adding a lot more geometry. The system will start to slow down over time. So when you're painting, it's adding more geometry so that it never loses its resolution. So I'm going to leave that alone for now. I think I would do better in this since I've gone this far. I'll do better just by adding additional resolution. So I'm adding more texture, more wrinkles and folds down in here. Well, more wrinkles will be more accurate. It's doing half the dinosaur because that's the real geometry. That's where the real geometry exists. And again, I'm using the drag dot technique because I can control this. As I get down to this portion of the tail, I might want to resize it a little bit. There we go, adding texture all in here. We haven't got to the horns yet. Make a smaller brush to add smaller wrinkles. All right, not bad. Add a lot more smaller wrinkles, probably right into these inner fold areas. And it's not a bad idea to kind of use your different brush styles. So if I come to here or brush techniques, so I've got the drag brush right here. So maybe what we'll do is we'll go with the, let's see what dots do. Pull this up a little bit. Oh, I see what it does. Isn't that cool? Huh. Nope, don't want that. How about we go and play with just the spacing, right? That way I should be able to just paint, right? At least we should. 10%, that's the spacing here. 10% spacing, this is pretty low. Anchored. Looks like something's going wrong with Blender here. Let me kind of play around with this. I got a 0.2. Let's go up to 1. That's probably what the problem is. There we go. That's the problem. That I don't want. Let's go back up to dots. Nope, not dots, but space. There we go. So how much I press down is going to determine how strong the effect is going to be. So if I come to the smaller area here, press down light, a little harder. I want to be careful because I don't want to raise up. I don't want to change the overall shape of the dinosaur. Just adding a little extra little details in there. Personally, I'm liking drag dot. So I'm going to we need to bring this back down. What was that, 0.2? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that works. Okay. Let's go to the head. I'm probably going to want to go to more of the clay buildup for the head for now. I'll tell you what, we'll just kind of come in here and add in a little more detail all throughout, just to kind of get it started. I'm not trying to be deliberate. I'm just randomly putting in details. Okay. Bring this around. Because I can't rotate my brush necessarily, I can rotate the object, right? I can rotate the object in lieu of the brush. Since I'm having a problem seeing a blender can actually utilize a brush rotation, but it currently that I can see it doesn't. But we can rotate the object. Okay. Add a little more details to the back. Bring the wrinkles a little higher. There we go. Add it on top of these plates that I put in there. Let's go to the plates. I think I did do some plates, if I remember correctly. Shift spacebar. Let's take a look around. Did I do those? You know what? I may have not done the plates. I swore I did. Huh. I forget. I don't think I did. Here are the ones that I did right here. It's the messy. We also did the skin. And I don't think we did the, matter of fact, I can just refresh my memory. We'll go over the bridge real quick, right? And that's exactly what we did. All right, so we'll go to bridge. Let's look for bridge. Let me get out of here. And let me bring bridge on over. Okay. I don't think we did the giraffe spots. Or did we? No. I don't think we did the giraffe spots. I think that would be a real handy one for the dinosaur. Let me just do that one just real quick. Go to the brushes, and I'm just going to grab the messy. Let's go back, go there. The messy abstract, I think it was at the top. There we go, right there. Right click on it, duplicate the asset. We're going to call this one giraffe spots or giraffe plates. That's going to go again inside of my custom brushes folder and save it. Okay, there it is, giraffe plates. Now let's get out of here and go get the alpha. This is still the messy abstract, so we'll come down to the bottom, get the alpha, brush alphas, got it. Okay, that's it. So the only thing I want to do next is, tell you what, we'll use this current plates on this back as the preview, just to save time. Command Alt 0. It's like I should be doing a fresh brush. I'm going to find a nice, well, there we go. That's a nice fresh little section. Okay, we'll go with that one there. We go render. It's thinking. It's rendering. Give it a minute. Okay, that's too strong of a light source. So let me go bring down the light source here. I mean, actually, in fact, there it is, right up there. Turn on the light. Lights, camera, action. And to be quite honest, let me see if I got an image here. Lights, bring it down. There it is. There's my light source. Grab it. Make sure I'm going to go back to object mode. There we go. Okay. There's my light source here. It's 1,000. I want to go 100. It is a point light, a light source after all. Let me also go over here to render mode just so I can quickly see what it looks like. Okay, so that light source, there it is. Now it's gotten awfully dim. The power is 100. I'll tell you what, we'll go back. You know what, let's just go to sunlight. Sunlight, it just makes it look so much easier. There, really blown out. We go to 10. 1. There we go. And just give it a little more brightness. I'm going to make sure real quick that denoise is turned on, which it is now. So it's just a fast little way of me doing this. Let me go to over here, put the light to the side. Let me go select the light source. Period key would take it to it. You see my camera's over there. So there's my little ball, kind of move it up at an angle. Yeah, that's a little better. Let's move this down. We'll move it downward like this to the side. And move this closer to the dinosaur so it's more of an extreme angle. Bring it up. See, it's going at a weird angle there, so I want to bring it back this way. That should work. Let me take a look at it. Okay, we'll use this one. Let's go ahead and render that real quick. This is going to be the giraffe plates, because I didn't do that earlier. There it is. I'll go back and do a better render of this later, but just to save time. Image, save as, giraffe plates. Let's go grab that. Okay, save it. Done. All right, so let's go get rid of this. N key. Go to my tools, but we have to go back to our good old sculpt mode. Now the N key, bring it on out. There it is. All right, I want to make sure I'm in the right tool here. Let's go to the top. All right, textures, brush settings. Let's go to advanced, take a look at that. I just want to just take a look at these real quick. Right up here, I'm gonna go over to my right-hand side. Normally it's up here too, but it seems to be missing right now. Right up here is my brush preview. Come over here, edit the preview image. For previews, there, done. There it is. There's my giraffe plates. Let's go back to Blender. Let's go play with it. All right. Let's see, what did I just do? So I went to just something. There we go. All right. Solid mode there. Cool. Got it. There we go. Now, if I want to add more plates, let's see what these look like. Scoped mode. Come on, there we go. There we go. So there are my plates. In fact, for this one, I'm going to want the dinosaur to kind of go in this direction here. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that worked out real nice. We can add a little more plates on top to kind of replenish the detail that we may have drowned out when we added on the skin on top of it. This will help bring it back a little bit. All right, let's go over here and add some smaller plates here. I'm just dragging it around is what I should be doing. Dragging it around just to see how it feels. Those are a little bit too small. So I want to get it a little bit closer to the size of what we got there. There we go. Yeah, these were great. Drag it. Overlap it. And it's super fast. I'm going to do a little bit of overlap here, so a little too much there. Click there, just kind of drag it around. See how it looks and feels. You can have platings on top of platings. Larger pieces here, which it should be. Bring it down a little bit. Go down the back. It's too much. There we go. I don't want to overdo it now. Grab some of that texture here. Yeah, right down where the plates are. Make it look like it's integrating with the plates nicely. Make it a little smaller here. A little smaller right about there. There we go. Let's go to the plates here. I think this can be a little bigger. There. Get them to integrate in with the plating on the Stegosaurus back. Coming across here. Actually, this can be a little bigger. Here, there, there. I liking that. I'm digging that here. Bring it across. A little larger plates here. Bring it across a larger area as we get down to the back corners here. We can bring down the size of the brush. There we go. Smaller brush here. See, it's starting to integrate with the plates a little better. There we go. Quite nice. Do these down over here real quick. Smaller. Actually, I'll make it bigger. Yeah, that's a much better job. Cool. How's that looking? No comments from anybody? Looking pretty good. Of course, we're not doing Godzilla. We're just doing a Stegosaurus. Make it a little bigger. There we go. Smaller. And just do the same for right up in here. That looks good. Gives a little better character. All right. Looks good. Let's get out of here. Go to object mode. Now we can see both sides of the dinosaur in object mode. This is where we need to start kind of pulling the skin out a little bit, especially in the wrinkly areas. These legs deserve a lot more wrinkles in here. I neglected the bottom. That'll just take me no time to do. All right, let's bring the dinosaur over real quick. We'll do that very quickly. But because we've already pre-done our brushes, I'm going to go find my skin brush. It's normally in alphabetical order. Here it is, right there. Got him. Take a look at that skin size. There we go. Skins are going to overlap. We kind of rotate the dinosaur a little bit, give it a little bit of a different angle. Make it a little bit bigger in some of these areas. In the smaller areas can be, especially where the folds are, I'm going to just go ahead and add some smaller wrinkles. A little bigger. Okay. Get up here in this arm and kind of add, there we go, add a little extra wrinkly effects right in there. Here, especially in the front here. Go to the rear leg real quick and do the same thing. There's going to be larger wrinkles across here. Go to the inside of the leg. Make it a little bigger. Kind of start with large at first, work our way down to smaller. And I'm kind of looking at, all the wrinkles going on in this dinosaur. You can look at them. There's lots of wrinkles in there. And I'm going to have to start going in there with some of the draw sharp tools. Start making it smaller in some areas. Might be a little bit larger up in here. Get a little smaller in here. So get it looking as close as I can. All right, looking underneath this neck, I can probably add a little more details there. Okay. Looking pretty good. Got about 20 minutes left. Let's see what we can do. All right, I want to start pulling out some of these areas, kind of adding more detail to some of the wrinkly areas here, looking at the belly. I'm going to get a different brush now. I think I want to get the Draw Sharp brush. Let's go find that. And I think it's one of these up here. I think that's the Draw Sharp. That's the Draw Skin. Let it hover over it. This one says Draw Steve on there. I'll have to figure out what brush that is. Here, if I do Draw Steve, let's see what brush that is. I'll just make it bigger. And it's just the regular, it's the regular draw brush. So let's look for the Draw Sharp. It's a standard brush. It's probably right up in here. Draw the standard brush. What's this one here? Crease, crease, crease. Clay. At least I was quite sure it was called Draw Sharp. Draw Steve. Let's see. Draw. Got the scrape. And I know it's in front of me and I'm just not seeing it. And it's usually at the top here. And it's usually one of these. So this is the crease brush. I suppose I could use that. Draw. What's this one? Draw. There's two draws. There it is. Found it. Draw Sharp right there. Right in front of me. Okay. Now, I think I did use this for the upper portion of the belly. Now let's go into some of these crevices. It's 0.5. I'm going to take my strength up to 1, see what it does. The resolution on the belly is not all that great. So I'm etching into it more. The resolution of the belly is not that great. So I may just have to up it a little bit. I'm going to draw sharp right in this area because I want that eventually to be folds. All right, I'm looking at some of these textures. And I'm going to try to replicate what I see in the photograph. So, all right, so if I have to add something in there, I'm going to, follow the belly. Follow the belly. Across. So if I take a look at this, kind of bring it around. And it's a fast process, actually. You don't want to get anal about it. You just want to relax and let your intuition take over. You may want to make the brush a little smaller. There we go. Get a little smaller folds coming in, represent kind of the circular, the roundness of the belly coming through there. Some sculptural stuff. So now we're going to start to push those lines into the crevice. Well, the folds of the skin are going to happen with the legs. And that's looking a lot better. Bring this down. Yep. Then we got this one here where they're coming more right across the length of the piece. And we can see that right in here. It's not going to be perfect, but you guys get the idea. All right, cool. Now, if you want to start making folds, I got another large little piece here. I'm going to actually want to draw another little fold line right through there. There we go. Try to avoid too many of these larger ballooned out sections. Kind of get rid of that with a little bit of a, and that creates the folds, right? Little ballooned out sections here. So you just draw in between them. That starts creating the folds in the flesh. And again, I'm working right on the Cintiq. I'm drawing right on the monitors, which makes life so much easier. Yeah, see? Oh, that's starting to pop out a little bit. It's starting to look a lot closer to our photograph over there, our reference. There we go, kind of getting to the folds right in the midsection of the joints area where the legs meet the belly. So I'm going to pull this on back. Okay, I'm going to save this one, Command Shift S. We're going to do this as number C. Cool. All right, making progress. Now it's time for me to drink a little bit of tea. All right, let's kind of see if there's any questions on Twitch. And let's see what I've got here. No, I don't see anything. Okay, cool. It's interesting watching Twitch as I'm several seconds behind. The bandwidth is kind of slow today. All right. All right. Let's see. Let's go ahead and pull this in. Okay, let me kind of do the head a little bit. Not much detail on the head in the photograph, so I might want to consider probably another reference. See in the eye socket here. Pull it on in closer. I think I'm going to go ahead and use that clay brush, hit the C key. First letter of the word clay, so I've got my clay build-up brush right about there. And if I kind of pull that on out, it's like using clay to build up here. Bring this all the way across. Adding strips of clay. I'm going to start to pull this on out. I want to work a little faster, so my strength is 0.5. I'm going to go to 0.7. There we go. Pull up the lower eyelids right in here. Pull that out a little bit. Kind of build that up in here. Oops. C key, bring it back down a little bit. Or control key is what I meant to say. Bring that on up. And I think I want to definitely bring this back in, out a little bit more, kind of pull it on out. Okay. All right. I think we're pretty much kind of organized. I'm going to go with this, Control S. Okay, go into object mode. You can see everything. All right, let's gonna save it. Okay, I'm thinking about leaving all the modifiers on the dinosaur. So I want to kind of add a rig to it. Let's see how it works. And if we've got them all separated currently, we got the horns separated. And I want to actually start merging things together. All right, so at this point, I'm thinking it's ready to start, applying the modifiers. I'm going to hit Command-Shift-S and just to save as, and we're going to save it as a flattened file. And Blender is thinking. I've got the little hourglass going here. All right, that's done. I'm going to grab the body, go to the modifiers. So we got a multi-resolution and we have a mirror that we need to apply. Okay, so we're going to hit apply all. Done. Now the system is I'm going to start moving a lot faster now because now Blender is not thinking about those modifiers anymore. Let's get rid of this image preview on the side. So go to the bottom left-hand corner and just click and drag on over. Done. Fill the screen. It's looking good. That's not bad. I mean, it's just for a quick little tutorial. I mean, this will be just fine. Go to the plates and make sure there's modifiers have been applied there. Go to the horns. The horns has got the multi-resolution because we're going to do some sculpting. But we also need to give it a mirror modifier. So generate, go to mirror. Let's see, it's under the Y, not under Y, not under Z, huh? X, there we go. Okay, so that's not totally accurate, but I'll go with it. I'm going to go ahead and apply all. Because if I go into here, go into the edit mode, I can manually go select this last one. Hit the L key and just move it on in. Like so, just like this. I'm going to decimate this a little bit. So go to my tab. So I want to lower down the polygon count. I'm looking at this. I might want to modify these horns a little bit better. So let me go right over here to the edit mode. Go to the top view. R key. Rotate it a little bit. Go to here. Press it in. Oh, I got too many things selected. What was that all about? The select L key will select linked. R key, there we go. R key, I'm going to rotate that a little bit like that. That works. R key again, just play with it. Okay, that's good. That's fine. Okay, go over here to object mode, generate, decimate. Let's go to half. Sit back and relax, see what happens. Still looks pretty good. I could probably decimate it a little better. Go to 0.3. If you want to see the effects, we can always go up here to the overlapping circle, which is your overview, and there you go. You can see the effects of the decimate. So that's good enough. So we'll go over here and apply decimate. Looks good. Go to the dinosaur. We're going to do the same thing to the dinosaur. Dinosaur is not that bad, but we'll see how far we can get away with decimating. I like to take off this overlay mode, take off the wireframe so I can see it pretty much naked here, so I can visually see where it starts to break apart. Add the modifier, generate, decimate. We'll go to half, 1/2. Sit back, see what happens. It's thinking. Got the hourglass there. And it's thinking, and it's thinking. All right. I'm noticing that Blender is speeding up much faster. So if I go to my wireframe view, you can see that there's a lot less geometry. We'll go with that. I can probably take it down a little bit more. Let's get out of the wireframe mode so we can see the effects. Let's see if we can get away with just a little bit more. So let's go to 0.3. Let's see what happens. Oops. It went back to 0.5 and I want 3. That takes away more of the, reduces down the polygon count even more. See what it looks like. Stinking. If it looks good, we'll go with this. Okay, it does. Still looks pretty good. And it really slows down. You can see a little bit of the degradation in here. It's not too bad. We'll go with that anyway. And we're going to come over here and say apply. since it's the only modifier there. It's thinking. Now, all we need to do is get the plates, decimate those, and then we're going to merge them together into a single object. And then we'll put the scalp. We're going to put the bones in. Okay. There it is. Plates next. Last but not least, decimate. And I'm going to take this down to 0.4. And it's currently thinking. There's my hourglass. Let's see what it does. Depending on how much you have available, how much geometry you have available is going to determine just how long it'll take. But the better the graphics cards you've got and processor, it's going to help. It's almost done. It's just about there. So we'll just be a little bit more patient. Then we'll merge everything together. This is the part I hate, is it's waiting for the decimate process. And I just find if you're going to put bones in it, I find that it's just much more beneficial if we just decimate everything and apply the decimation, and not just leave it as a modifier to be used throughout the process. You probably could, but I think it's less problems. Okay, the hourglass is still going, but let's see what happens. It's going to be a little stubborn. There it is. Cool. Command S. Save it. Now that we've got it. I didn't think saving was going to take forever. There we go. All right. So decimate. We're going to apply the decimation now. So, or hit apply all. You got it saved in case something goes wrong. So no big deal. We'll do something different from the dinosaur next week. I think everybody's tired of the dinosaur. Let's let this finish applying. And once it's done, we'll save it. It's almost there. Wait, this one's taking a little bit more time. But I had a lot of polys in here. So I was using the sculpting tools. We had to give an additional resolution just so that the scopes was going to come out looking great. So this is really something to be expected. Let's check. Ace is still here. We've got a new person, Frankenhart. Welcome to the Blender. Welcome to the Blender 3D and LightWave broadcast. So this was going to may take a little more time to finish decimating. So we're applying the decimation right now. So we want to get rid of the modifier. The modifier should disappear, leaving us with nothing but the raw geometry. And there it is, done. Okay, we got it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to merge everything into one object. So we got the plates. Hold the shift key, get the horns. Hold the shift key and get the body. Then Command or Control J. And there it is. It's one object. We come over here to our outliner. There's the one object. I'm going to call this one Stegosaurus. Command Shift S. We're going to call this one version D flattened. There it is. Save pretty quickly. Okay. So we got 5 minutes left. Let's rotate this around. And what I'm going to do is basically bring in a skeleton, a pre-made skeleton. So Shift A, armature, rigify, and we've got animals right over here. Horse, shark, wolf, probably maybe a horse, I suppose. Let's see what the horse looks like. Yeah, you got the bones for the mane. You got the bones for the belly too. I guess the horse could work. Get rid of the bones for the mane. I don't think we're going to need it. So the bones are selected. Go to edit mode. If I select all of these, hold the shift key, select the rest. Okay. And let me see. I'll make sure. I think I missed one right down there. There we go. X key. Delete those bones. Done. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reserve this until next time. In fact, I'm going to do it on my own. Show you the results next week. But this is where we're going to leave off at. And I'll modify the skeleton to fit inside the Stegosaurus. Elongate the tail to add more bone segments to the tail itself. All right. So there it is. We'll utilize our horse skeleton to create an animation for a dinosaur. Isn't that fun? All right. So what we'll do is we'll plan on being back here next Saturday. I had a few people contact me saying they weren't going to make it today. So hopefully we'll see everybody next week. Okay. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for the support. And we'll see everybody next Saturday.